Good morning. This is Jamie Shibley, CEO of the Expressory. And today, I want to talk to you about a very specific how-to example. And that is a trend that was growing all throughout 2023 and that we see as still running very high as a trend in 2024. And that is gifts related to wellness. Um, Probably seems pretty obvious that coming out of COVID and all that we've been dealing with and stressful times, that well-being is a very popular theme for trending. But I want to explain why it can become even more powerful as a use for you in business to nurture your relationships, and then some examples of how you can use that in your messaging. So you've heard us talk about the three qualities needed for any lasting relationship to take place, and that is that people need to know you understand them. They need you to validate, what they're interested in, what they care about, and they need to know you care, and that you support them and you'll be there for them. And I think those last two pieces are what makes this theme of wellness for a gift something very powerful to nurture your relationships in business. Because, again, at our core, that's all we all really want is to know that we are seen. And so if you can take an opportunity in business to acknowledge people and wish them well and encourage it, you are setting the foundation for some very emotional connections that will be lasting. Okay, so let's get into some specifics. What's interesting is that in 2024 gift trends, men's wellness products are becoming a big thing. And I'm sure that feels odd for a woman to think about giving a male in business a gift of wellness, and maybe even feels odd for men to think about giving other men, like self-care products. But I think what I'm hoping is to share some ideas that can make that not so weird, because you truly are coming from a place of care, and that's what's important. So, one of the themes that you can use around your messaging. So, no matter what the item is, think in your own personal life. What do you do as a maybe a tradition, right? When you know you need to pause and refresh. For instance, for me, it's all about spa. Like, I have a good friend. Quarterly, we try to get away for a day and just spend some time um, at a spa, recharging, even if that's just, hot tub or something. It doesn't necessarily mean a service, but and so if I were to give gifts of well-being, and maybe I bought some spa products, and I talk about how, since I've been in business, I've tried to schedule a quarterly day out of the office to spend some time recharge. That would create a bond, because now we have something to talk about. People feel like they know a little bit more about me. They feel almost given permission, right? Like, okay, you're right. I am going to take a minute. And you're encouraging them to find that balance. Um, and so that is tapping into the strategic storyline that we call relationship related. It's what I'm sharing is I'm sharing my relationship with you and showing you a tradition of mine. Um, the next one, a strategic storyline you could use is transition. When you think about giving the gift of wellness to somebody or a product related to self-care, um, you are helping them transition from stress to not stress, from stress to well-being, right? So that alone, a transitional moment, is powerful. You're enabling that for them. You're validating that, hey, we're living in a crazy time, or hey, I see what's going on in your business, your world. I want to invite you to take a minute. Let me help you transition to a brighter time for a few moments, right? Okay, so that storyline again is strong. It will set up the emotional connection. And again, I think that's why for men, I mean, all you're doing is you're validating. Yeah, you're going through it. I see that. Here's a few products that, maybe based on the fragrances and stuff like that, I hope that you can pause for a bit and just take some time to recharge. Shared experiences. Maybe on one of my trips to those spas, I might remember that somebody in my circle, maybe one of my vendor partners, they had a rough month. I mean, it's been a rough year for a lot of people in business in 2023. So, but when we're talking about shared experiences, um, maybe as actually, that's not shared experiences. What I'm thinking about is gift acquisition. So if I'm at a spa and I come across a product that reminds me of that vendor partner, or something they shared that they really enjoy, I might pick up that product and tell the story about, hey, I was traveling to wherever. I saw this in the gift shop. I thought of you, and now I'm sharing. There's a story that I went out of my way to get this for this person, because I recall the story of them sharing that they enjoyed it, and so that creates the connection. So again, that's gift acquisition when how you arrived at it or why you bought it is related to that specific person. It becomes a bond. Okay, now shared experiences. This is where you tap into the memory of something you guys experienced together when it comes to well-being, and so, or maybe personal care. And so it might be, hey, you met someone, a prospect, let's say, at an event, and during that event, I don't know, maybe the speaker was talking about the importance of taking time and creating a habit, a practice of self-care. And so your theme of shared experience when it comes to personal care could be sending them, a room spray, a roller ball, a book about personal care, but with the theme of, remember that conference and that person was great, that speaker, and they talked about, self-care and having a routine. Thinking about that, hopefully you're putting that into practice as well. And now you're bringing up that, positive experience of attending that conference together, the good feelings of, engaging with you at that time and just reminding them, keeping you top of mind, but also creating that bond. Um, that can also work with the storyline of a goal, because maybe you're aware of existing clients or someone on your team who said that this year they know they really need to take some time for themselves and they have a goal of being more on top of personal care, well-being, whatever you want to say, becoming healthier, right? And so if you give them, maybe it's a goal tracker, a journal, something that serves as a motivator to stay accountable to that goal that they're working toward. Now, every time they use that, they're thinking of you. It's positive and it's created a bond. And I think the last way that the last storyline, if I think about how you could apply this, is DIY gifting. And how you use that gift is if you find a product that was, made by hand, or maybe it was created specifically for that person. So I think about those eye patches for rest, or those eye masks, and maybe it's got it's monogrammed for them, or maybe it's those bath bombs or lotion that were specifically made by hand from a vendor that you came across. And it has a nice story because when people know it's made by someone's hand, it's made by a small business, whatever that may be, it's lasting. Right? You put some effort into that. Even though you're not the one who made it, there's something to that. And again, it creates that bond. So, we're at the start of a new year. or maybe when you're watching this and it's the middle of a year. But giving a gift, or creating some sort of experience around wellness and well-being has the potential to create some long-lasting relationships for you that build trust and really set up that emotional connectivity that makes people want to talk about you and share the goodness that is you. So, hopefully, that's given you some ideas for designing some touch points of your own this year, and creating those stronger relationships. Always happy to bounce some ideas together. Just you know how to find me. Thank you for listening.